right, this is going to be fun before the beer break. Do not leave. Alexei Wood is listed as undesignated. That is the title. Loves challenges and to challenge. They wish to raise awareness about oppressive behaviors, environmental and social struggles, hierarchies, privilege, and abuse. Alexei is not afraid to broach difficult or taboo conversations, always advocating for critical thinking. Approaches often include media studies, postmodernism, philosophy, linguistics, psychology, sociology, and critical theory contextualized with anarchist, anti-oppression, and anti-civilization lenses, the stuff you see on TV news locally all the time. Critical of all control methods, Alexei envisions interdependent worlds of voluntary association, free from coercion, judgment, and fear. We can all hope. Alexei Wood!
Hello. Howdy, y'all. Okay, well, I'm just going to say the title of it, and then I'm going to press the space bar, and the title of it is There's a Police Officer in Our Heads, and He Must Be Destroyed. There's a police officer in our heads, and he must be destroyed. Okay, so I'm just going to give some background why I even got invited to be here. I'm a photographer, photojournalist, journalist, videographer, all those things. And I went up to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of Trump a year and some change ago. And I had a really good time, honestly. And I specifically went to an anti-capitalism and anti-fascist march and protest, and got arrested. So I'm slowing down here, but so it was, the group was mostly anarchist. A lot of anti-authoritarian stuff like that. Some property destruction definitely happened, some spray painting definitely happened, etc. But it was a targeted mass arrest, and 230 people that were in there just got rounded up, and we all got arrested. And so there was a big old trial about it. It actually ended up being a 5-week trial. I signed up to go first. There was 6 of us total, and it was a big old deal. And I have some slides of some media stuff I did. I was on MSNBC and Democracy Now! And New York Times and all that. It was super, super, super surreal. I'm actually more nervous now than I had been any time previously, including court and MSNBC, because I felt really righteous in my innocence, and now I'm just kind of talking. So, so that's just kind of literally just to bring y'all up to speed if anybody doesn't know my story or why I got invited to be here. But I'm basically going to leave it there. Some of the slides are going to go on about some media stuff. But what I want to talk about is, in part, or my transition is called the chilling effect. Has anybody heard what the chilling effect or a chilling effect is? Okay, and that's not, so what it is anybody who heard about my arrest or our arrest or pepper spray and this big huge trial. I was facing 8 felonies. I should have said that earlier. Conspiracy to riot, riot act, all this bullshit. Democracy Now! Yeah. So the chilling effect, and the reason why I want to bring that up is because I hear so many people say that they're scared to go to protest. They heard my story and they're just like, I don't even want to go. And I find that so unfortunate, and I wanted to address that here today. And so to broaden it, so the chilling effect, and I'm facing it personally. I'm every police officer I see gives me fear, absolute fear, and that wasn't exactly uncommon beforehand. The rest of these are going to be all my photos that I've been at protests. This is Y'all recognize that landmark by any chance? So the chilling effect and the police officer that is in our heads. What I want to talk about is how we can internalize oppression. And so there's so much homophobia and transphobia and racism and sexism and class divide. I mean, it's just an absolute mess. And by experiencing the chilling effect that it's had on me, myself, and how it's changed me, and how I've heard so much feedback about, oh my God, you know, like I don't even want to go to a protest if somebody does something quote unquote illegal, everybody in the vicinity could get rounded up, and that could definitely be used as a way to silence dissent. And I absolutely feel that my experience was exactly that, was just to silence dissent. So what do we do? Like, what do I do about that? What do we do? And so I want to talk about, you know, so the state arrested me and put all this pressure on me, and there's 230 of us, and it's just a shit show. And I'm non-biased reporter there, but I want to talk about social pressure and the police officer that's in our minds. We ended up self-policing ourselves, and where we don't fully, or I'll speak for myself, my apologies, where I find myself not fully expressing myself or being genuine to myself, and I think we can all relate to that. But it is scary times, y'all. There's a lot of divisiveness. There's the neo-Nazi resurgence and all that. That's all real. All that's real. And I hope y'all are all trying to stay aware of it and combat it. So, visibility. So I'm talking about social pressure and social conditioning. I think we're all in closets of some sort, and they're either socially with microaggressions and little you know, things that don't let us be ourselves. Like, you know, I had a question I wanted to give the audience is if there's female-bodied folks that are here today, like, would you feel comfortable growing your hair out? Armpit hair, leg hair, pubic hair, etc. Because I've asked a lot of female-bodied that, and very quickly it's a no. And so I want to know, like, what is that? Like, what? Like, I want people to ask themselves, what keeps them from speaking up? Because there's so many issues, and it's so necessary that everybody speaks up. And what do we do? And so, visibility. I want people to be out of their closets. I want people to stand up against racism, against sexism, homophobia, everything. And my photography and what I do, basically I'm always trying to tackle that usually in a visual manner. And that's actually perfect. All right, thanks for the improv thing earlier. So, yeah, what's up, man?
Give it up for a real journalist, not fake news here, Alexei Wood. Okay, just a little bit about your background, and I'm older than you, but how did you get into photography and journalism and also this, I don't want to say strain of it, but, you know, what you do?
Thanks for the softball. Okay.
Yeah.
My mom was into photography. I just, you know, and both my parents were artists, or my mom's still alive, my dad was an artist, and then photojournalism I just thought that's what photography was really for a very, very long time, and so it's just been a part of everything I do, and it's been I've been full-time freelance for about 3 years now.
And who are you working for, so people can see your stuff?
I'm fully independent. I'm not working for anybody. My camera is still in the DC Police Department. It's not no evidence is being released until all the trials are done. So I don't have the creative energy right now. I went through hell, and I'm just recovering. But I certainly am excited about how I'm going to document and how I'm going to put focus onto things in the future.
And where are you right now in that whole process of getting to the next stage of what you do, as well as putting that whole court stuff behind you?
I lost a lot of weight during the trial. I'm gaining my weight back. Just taking care of my health in that regards. I've been doing this photography thing like full time for years and years and years. So I think I'm actually really excited about my next move, but I don't know what gear I want to use. I don't know what approach I want to use. I don't know anything.
And one other thing, I think people might have, this conception of what an anarchist is or isn't. How do you describe that to people who think, as opposed to a protester, a demonstrator, or somebody?
Well, they're not mutually exclusive. An anarchist. I guess I'll speak for myself. I don't identify as an anarchist with the IST at the end of it, because I'm actually kind of anti-identity in general, but that's another PechaKucha. To me, I'm not against leadership, but I want to have a say in it. I want to consent. And I want to live in a world where nobody's telling me what to do, and we can have the trust of the community, and we can figure it out together, and we have input, and we have feedback. So to me, any hierarchy to me is automatically coercive. There's, so like, we have politicians, and we have lawmakers, and we have police, and we have prisons, and the largest prison population in the world. So I think to be in anarchy or an anarchist, however people want to say it, is you have to be honest. You have to be in tune with yourself. You have to be in tune with your community. You have to be in tune with your environment. And I trust in people. I believe that everybody here and everybody on the planet is fully capable of making their own decisions for themselves, and they don't need experts, and they don't need leaders, and they definitely don't need politicians or the police.
And now, after the Parkland shooting, people are talking about how the next generation may actually be getting a voice about guns and the kids there. What do you think of that? And what would you say to these people here if they feel like, okay, I'm not being authentic, I need to be? What would you tell them?
Thank you. I was trying to focus on that exact question. It's like, are y'all pissed off? And it doesn't have to be a pissed off thing, but it's like, if you find yourself not speaking up, I wish for you to notice that. Take a moment. Why are you not speaking up? Are you saying something that's not socially acceptable? Are there, neighbors will judge you and coworkers? I don't want to live in that world, and we're living in that world. Does that answer?
That's good.
Right.
And I love that first slide. Where did that come from?
The first the poster. I took that photo in D.C. It was on a lamppost, and D.C. was alive, and in some ways it was definitely on fire too, but stay away from that at the moment.
I went to college.
So, what was that?
I said I went to college.
Okay.
And I inhaled, but I just wanted. So tell me, what's next here in San Antonio for you? People might wonder, well, why is this very socially aware guy in San Antonio? I don't think of...
I'm from here. I'm from Corpus.
Right.
This is my bioregion. I love it here. I have a community. I think this city is ripe with opportunities. Not necessarily money, but the cost of living is cheap here. There's the community here loves to elevate the community. I'm in the arts. I've just got nothing but a lot of love, and I just see everybody giving it to each other, and so I really love San Antonio.
Give it up for a true, authentic person. I have both hair envy and journalism envy. Alexei Wood!